All right, so you've been building these really cool looking layouts in React Native. They look awesome. But let's be honest, they're kind of static. A bit quiet, right? Well, today that all changes. We're going to bring your UI to life using something called state.
So you're probably at that stage where your creation looks like a real app. You know, the components are all there, the styling is on point, but then you tap a button and nothing. It just doesn't feel like an app yet. And that's the gap we're talking about, the difference between looks like and feels like. Today, we're going to build the bridge that connects them.
So what is that secret ingredient? You know, the thing that turns a static screen into a living, breathing, interactive experience? Well, stick around, because we're about to pull back the curtain.
Okay, so first up, the static screen problem. And I love the subtitle, Your App, the Mannequin, because honestly, that's a perfect way to think about it. Right now, your app is kind of like a mannequin in a shop window. It looks the part, you know? It's got all the right pieces in all the right places, but it just stands there. It doesn't move, it doesn't respond to anything.
Yep, up until now, your screens have basically been a one-way street. You design this beautiful interface, a user comes along and interacts with it, and they just hit a brick wall. Their taps, their swipes, their typing, it has zero effect. And the reason is simple. The app has no memory. It has no way to remember what just happened or react to it.
So, let's talk about the solution, the spark of life. This is where we give your app a memory. And the concept behind this is called state. Honestly, the easiest way to get your head around state is to just think of it as your app's memory. It's a place to store any piece of information that needs to change over time.
Now, the main tool we're going to use to create this memory is a special function from React called useState. It's what's known as a hook, and don't let that term scare you. It's just React's fancy word for a function that lets you hook into its features. And in this case, useState is the hook that lets our little components create and manage their very own memory.
All right, enough theory. The best way to really understand this stuff is to see it in action. So, let's build our very first interactive feature, a super simple counter. Yeah, we're literally going to teach our app how to count.
So what's the goal here? It's really straightforward. We want a number on the screen that starts at 0. And every single time we press a button, that number goes up by 1. That's it. This is basically the hello world for interactive apps.
And boom, here's the code that makes it all happen. Now don't worry about understanding every single line right away. Just take a quick look. You can probably spot the key players. We've got useState in there, a text component to show the number, and of course, a button. Okay, let's break down exactly how this works.
Okay, let's walk through this. It's basically a three-step dance. Step 1, we create the state. See that line useState 0? That one little function call does two crucial things. It gives us a variable, we're calling it count, and it starts it at 0. And it also gives us a special function, setCount. Now think of setCount as the only way you're allowed to change the value of count. It's like a gatekeeper for our state. Okay, step 2, we display the state. This is the easy part. We just put our count variable right inside that text component. Whatever number is in count, that's what the user sees on the screen. Simple. And finally, step 3, we update the state. See the button? Its onPressProp is wired up to call our setCount function. When you press it, it says, hey, setCount, take the current value of count, add 1 to it, and make that the new state. And that's the loop. Create, display, update. This little pattern, it's everything in React.
Pretty cool, right? Our app can now actually do something. But, you know, true interactivity isn't just a one-way street. It's a conversation. So for our next trick, let's teach our app not just how to act, but how to listen. So here's what we're going for. This time, we want to capture text from the user. You know, when they type into an input box, we want to see that text show up on the screen right away, in real time as they're typing.
And here's the code to make that happen. Right away, you should notice it looks pretty similar to our counter, right? We're still using useState at the top, but this time, instead of a button, we've got this text input component. So let's dig in and see how this little back and forth conversation works.
So what's really going on here is this perfect continuous feedback loop. Check it out. First, the user types a character into the text input. As soon as that happens, with every single keystroke, the onChange text function fires. It takes the new text and calls our setName function to update the state. And because the value of that input is tied directly to our name state, the UI instantly updates to show the new character. This whole cycle, user action, state update, UI update, happens so ridiculously fast that it feels completely instantaneous. That right there is the power of this whole system.
Oh, and a quick aside for any of you coming from the iOS world. If you've ever used SwiftUI, you'll probably notice this looks,
really familiar. And you're right. React's useState hook is almost identical to using @state in SwiftUI. It's the same exact idea of a UI driven by state, just, with JavaScript syntax.
Okay, we've built a counter, we've built a text input, we've seen a couple of cool examples. But now it's time to zoom out and really grasp the one core principle that makes all of this tick. Get ready, because this is the big aha moment.
This is it. The single most important thing you need to remember. When state changes, the UI updates automatically. That's it. Just let that sink in. Think about what you're not doing here. You're not manually going out and finding the text on the screen and telling it, hey, change to this new value. No way. Your only job, your entire job, is to update the data in your state. You just call setCount or setName, and React Native takes care of the rest. It automatically redraws the screen to match the new state. This automatic loop is the magic of reactivity.
So, let's do a quick recap. You've now got this awesome new toolkit. You have useState, which is how you give your components a memory. You've got the button, which lets you trigger actions to change that memory. And you've got text input, which lets you get information from the user into that memory. And the glue holding it all together? That one core principle. React Native handles redrawing the screen for you, automatically, every time the state changes.
So there you have it. We've officially taken our app from being a static mannequin and turned it into a dynamic, responsive experience. We've given it the one thing it was missing, a memory. So that leaves just one final, really exciting question for you. Now that your app can remember things, what are you going to teach it to do?